Well, I'm actually very excited about this. And I'm
Yeah.
sorry to say that it was your idea, just like the last time.
Straight out of the horse's mouth. You can tell what that means. That was straight out of the
That
dog's
wasn't
mouth.
us. That was the dog who's over there,
Yes.
as usual.
That's
on the
why my
floor.
hand just tick, tick, treat mouth, treat mouth, treat mouth.
I have no idea how that started.
Oh,
was
that's a good
there
one.
a talking horse, one of these talking horses that supposedly could like tap its foot or something? And
Okay, so what about it? What about the talking horse?
well, I don't know. Like
Gotta give me a story.
the horse, like someone was trying to pull someone's leg, and the horse gave the truth away somehow. Maybe not because it was a talking horse, but it just revealed something or knocked something over and showed the truth. Or
As we know, horse racing, gambling around that is a big deal. It has been a big deal since, as I read, 12th century, especially in Britain.
seriously,
Yes. So, of course, people try to come up with strategies and figure out how to win, the gamblers. And very valuable piece of information could come from the source close to the horses who know about the horses. So, stable boys, people working around there. And the closer the person would be to the actual horse, the closer to its mouth. See where I'm going?
yes, I see where you're going, and I can't believe I didn't think of this. This is genius.
So the person who is closest to the source is giving the tip, and since the tips were about the horses, straight from the horse's mouth.
We have this phrase, which you probably know, called break a leg.
Someone is wishing you luck.
Yes.
Go break a leg, and that's going to be good if you'll do that.
Sounds like a contradiction in terms, you got to admit.
Yeah. So, okay, it's probably medieval times or late medieval times. Yeah, warm. You're going to give me cold, warm, cold, warm.
You're warm.
Okay. Peasants had to go and serve the Lord. So to avoid that,
The Lord or the Lords?
whatever Lord was available in the area. But of course, they wouldn't want to do that because they would want to take care of their own pumpkin patch.
For example.
So to do that, they needed to harm themselves. And the injury had to be really big enough that the peasant wouldn't be able to go and serve the Lord. So they would, for example, break a leg.
Did you just now come up with this
Yeah,
idea?
yeah.
Just in the moment I mentioned
Just in
break
the
a leg.
moment, yes. Right away.
You're in the wrong profession. You really should write stories. Okay, but now I'm going to tell you where this really comes from. So Shakespeare's time, theater was big. It was a little bit before TV. You probably already know that. And a lot of people went to the theater hoping to be entertained. And the way that people gave their appreciation for a play that they liked was they would take their chairs, which were invariably made of wood, and they would bonk them on the ground, bonk, 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 like on this table. And sometimes when they were really excited and really liked the play, they would bonk these chairs so hard that they would break legs off the chairs accidentally. So that's half of it. So that's, kind of
That's not a person's leg. I always thought
No,
it's like literally
exactly.
person's
So did
leg.
I. And to say, oh, break a leg, meaning good luck, just sounds like, why would you tell someone to break their leg? I have wondered my entire life why this said. Now, the part that I did know was that theater people are wildly superstitious, have been for centuries. They wanted a way to wish each other good luck without jinxing it. So some clever person came up with this idea of saying, well, break a leg. It was probably spontaneous. I don't know. And the reference every theater person understood, which is, I hope you do so well that the audience appreciates you so much that they slam their chairs and break legs off the chairs, not off of you.
Wow.
Isn't that amazing?
That is quite amazing. And
It's amazing. I've been doing theater since I was a kid, and I have never heard this story. Never.
To let the cat out of the bag.
My theory is that people can still to this day have been known to drown kittens by putting them in sacks and throwing them with some stones into water. But I don't know how that would connect to the truth.
Tell the truth,
the truth coming out.
There is an animal which is in the bag, but it's not a cat. Again, Middle Ages, people in the markets selling animals. And a lot of those animals were piglets. And the farmers would not want to buy the piglet from hand to hand because they're very squiggly, wiggly, and they can sneak out and start running around the market. And
I don't want to be bacon. I don't want to be bacon.
Of course, and then the farmer has to go run around and chase the piglet.
Fair enough.
So they would sell them in bags.
I can see where you're going with this.
Yes. And since pigs were important animals which were expensive, some swindlers, connection to the swine, haha, decided that they will start putting other kinds of animals, cheaper animals, cats for example, into the bag. Because not always farmer would look into that bag, which contains a similar weight and shape little animal.
Hold on, that's the getting away with it part. I got a little problem with this story. I haven't put many cats in many bags. Don't think I've done that. But I'm pretty sure if I did, that cat would make a little protest.
But imagine if it's a giant market, there's a lot of animals. There's a lot of noises. And maybe you're selling 4 little piglets and you replace 2 with 2 kitties. So you have some pig sounds, you have some cat sounds, you know.
I don't have a lot of experience in medieval marketplaces, so...
Or buying
I have to
pigs
take your
in
word
general.
for it. Do you know the expression to be above board?
No.
Really? When something is above board, it's legal and legit. It's not like sneaky and underhanded and possibly criminal. Yeah.
Whew, this is hard. So it comes from surfer culture. People surf on boards, and when you are surfing, you have to be above, and that means that if you go under the water, you're just a complete crook because you pretend that you know how to surf, but you don't because you're going under the board. You need to stay above the board to be legit.
It is water related, so actually you're in the ballpark.
See?
We had a lot of sailing going on, and back in the days when there are pirates on the sea. And apparently these pirates didn't dress like gentlemen. I don't know if they looked like Johnny Depp or had the eye patch or the bandana or whatever, but when they saw an opportunity coming, they would take down their pirate flag. That part of the story.
Because why would you go with a pirate flag at all?
Advertise, hey, pirate ship. In these days, a deck was called a board. So the boards were the decks. So above boards was standing on the deck. Below boards were below the decks. So when they saw another crew coming, all the pirates would scramble down and go under the boards, hide under the decks. And they would get rid of the pirate flag and fly some fake, hey, we're a British flag and this kind of thing, because the pirates looked like pirates apparently. So the other ships, eventually the ones that survived, I guess, passed on the message that if you see a ship, looks nice and everything, but there's nobody above board, there's nobody standing on deck, you might want to go the other way. And that phrase is stuck.
Caught red-handed.
Well, I guess the gist of it is what would make your hands red. There could be dye. There could be dipping. But I can't make up a story and I know it's going to be wrong. I didn't expect this pressure. Somebody tried to steal something that involved sticking their hands in, and they spilled some dye on their hands, and then they figured out that it was that person because of the red dye. That's my story. I'm going with it. Maybe it was in India.
Yeah, you're wrong. Surprise,
No
surprise.
kidding. You're kidding. I can't believe that. I was so sure I'd had it.
15th century, and it was specifically in Scotland. It was common to steal farm animals because, of course, people didn't have enough money to survive, and there was a lot of thieves.
If you don't have enough money,
right?
you don't have enough food.
Yeah.
So
What would you do with the stolen farm animals? You would slaughter them, right?
Didn't think of blood.
And your hands would get red because of the blood. So the law said anyone caught with blood on their hands, you would be found guilty.
Think of those poor people who are just scratching a mosquito bite. And maybe one more because I'm hungry. The word honeymoon.
People noticed in the golden olden days that there is a specific month, July, where the bees bring a lot of honey. That's why they started calling it a month of bees, the honeymoon, the bee month, honeymoon.
That is amazing.
I'm thinking now how the moon features in the month, but it's like under the moon, under the July moon.
I think you can figure that part of it out.
Yeah.
That's it?
That's it.
It's a good story. Scandinavians drank a lot of mead. Do you know what it's made of? Or how it's made?
With honey.
Fermented honey.
Yeah.
And it just so happened that the Scandinavians believed that it was an aphrodisiac. It's convenient because you get kind of tipsy. It's like, let's make out. When people got married, it was required for the married couple to drink mead on a daily basis for the first month. And it also just happened that the Scandinavian calendar was based on the moon cycle. You would get married and you had to drink mead for 29 and a half days.
It's not very tasty.
And so it came to be known as the honeymoon. Like that moon cycle was the honeymoon because you drank all this honeyed mead. Let's go.
Oh yeah,
Drink,
let's go get
drink,
that
eat, and,
pizza.
Drink, eat, and make merry, as they say.
Okie dokie. Bye.